at the Pondy Literature Festival, and with me today is a very special guest, Professor Shailja Singh of Special Center for Molecular Medicine, JNU. She is somebody I'm not even qualified to have a conversation with, but I'll try. Professor Singh, thank you, and thank you for giving us this time, and thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak to you.
No, it's a real pleasure.
Thank you. If you could briefly tell us about the work you are doing.
Yeah. So let me first thank this PLF, because I think it is it's the second time when PLF decided to have scientists also in this good platform where we can talk about our science, what we are doing for our nation. Right. Ultimately, every science which is either the health related or anything, it goes in the service of nation. So I think thank you for this. But like as you just asked about my work, my research, so I am placed in a Special Center for Molecular Medicine, Jawaharlal Nehru University. Right. And there I am working as a professor, and my group, which is consisted of a PhD student, some early career scientists, as well as some master student. We try to address the tropical world problem. So we try to understand how these two diseases, specifically malaria and leishmaniasis, how that causes the pathogenesis, because any pathogen, when it interacts to human, it causes disease, symptoms, fever, death, whatever. So in that case, if we understand the mechanism, we can have the solution. And you will also know that now in a modern world, we are always looking for the second generation medicines, which should be safe, not resistant, as well as it is so affordable. Because as I said, we are talking about the tropical world country diseases, so we also think about cost of the medicine should be affordable. Right. So our research, whatever we do, we should be aware of what we are discovering that should lead to a affordable medicine for this kind of a diseases.
Right. You have recently been awarded by the President of India, no less. Tell us a bit about that. How did it feel, and so, how will it also help you and your team to take your work forward?
So this is very interesting, so actually, as I said, my team is working on malaria, and we were trying to discover a new medicine. And whatever we discover, it takes time, because you are identifying a new compound, and that you will develop as a pill. Finally, it has to go to humans, so all the safety concerns and everything. But at the same time, we were also thinking that why our old drug, which are already landmark drug and they are being used for malaria, why are they going to be obsolete? Meaning, why are the parasites are too clever to develop some resistance against those? So why are they not in that much action? So we thought, okay, we should also try to understand first of all why the parasites, especially the malaria, is not responding to that drug. And if at all we can enhance the efficacy of the drug rather than discovering the new one. So artemisinin, which is the only drug available for Plasmodium falciparum. Right. And this drug is like a gold standard. Everybody, everywhere, wherever the malaria falciparum is there, we use it. But then in South Asian countries, now this pathogens are making resistant against this drug. And you should also be acknowledging the fact that this drug is so popular that it also got who discovered this drug got the Nobel Prize. Right. But then also the parasites are clever against this drug. So we thought, let us enhance the efficacy. Right. How will you enhance the efficacy? For example, X drug is killing 10 parasites. Then what we did, we looked for the mechanism, as I said, how that drug is killing the parasite. So we found that, okay, it creates some reactive oxygen species, and that's what it kills the pathogen. So now, and how it creates the reactive oxygen species. So we also got to know through our studies that it uses the iron.
Right.
So the free iron in the presence of the drug is being converted to free radical formation, and that kills the parasite. Now it's very clear, once you know the mechanism, supply the iron nanoparticle along with the artemisinin, and if you combine the two, maybe you will enhance the efficacy. But
Right.
at the same time, because being in India, as I said, the solution should be totally handy, we look for the Ayurveda formulation. And then in the Ayurveda formulation, iron nanoparticle, which is a modern way of saying so, because we make a nanoparticle, Lobhasma is so much mimicking to that.
Right.
So we talked to the Ayurvedic doctors, and they were in the anemic condition, they used to give the Lobhasma. So then the modern science led us to think, why can't we mix the iron bhasm, Lobhasma, which is law meaning iron, which is formulation from Ayurvedic preparation, should be combined to this modern medicine artemisinin and should be tested. And we found it that efficacy is 10 times more.
Right.
And that's what, that was eureka moment for us, because the formulation can be, we tested against the resistant parasite and it was also killing them.
Right.
So finally we, that's what the President Award is. But
Right.
we got two.
Okay.
This is the one, and for the second award, we also proposed that we should screen the new natural compounds.
Right.
Against parasite, and we also proposed the method, why,
Right.
how should we screen the compound, you know. So that was the second award. So the same group has won two
awards. Professor Singh, you touched upon a very important point, how you relied upon Ayurveda
Yeah.
to develop modern medicine.
Yes.
How much of it do you think is happening now? There was a kind of antipathy towards our ancient sciences, the Indic sciences.
Yeah,
Do you
yes.
think that's going now?
Yes. So I think, see, any traditional medicine or Ayurvedic medicine, earlier we used to take, but in between, because of this modern medicine, we were said that maybe it is not well studied, this might harm you or so.
Right.
But at the same time, what I said, we should also be very careful when I say Ayurvedic preparation or any herbal preparation, because we don't know the dose.
Right.
The problem is not with the Ayurvedic compounds or preparation. The problem, because we have never been quantified it.
Right.
How much to take? Like if you are taking a allopathic medicine, you know 10 gram per kg of the weight you are taking.
Right.
But what about the Ayurvedic medicine?
Right.
Because the preparation never says that this much compound is there. So it can be anything excess can really harm the body.
Yeah.
So according to me, it's a real very rich source of compounds and the drug, but we need to be, as a scientist, we need to know first of all the mechanism, what are there in that preparation, and what should be the dose. That will, the science only can tell you that.
Right.
Your research can tell you, and once you have found that out, I think that's the solution. So the all inhibition and everything will go if we'll be more systematic.
Right.
For example, now Ayush Ministry, Ayush, they are putting up the project where the all time they are asking, let's say if you know that this type of herbal compound is for that disease, prove it. First you
Right.
prove it. So the scientific explanation to that, if you can give, there will be no hesitation.
Right.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Professor Singh, you are at the forefront of the research on molecular medicine in India. We have had a culture till very recently, I would say, of always leaning towards the West when it came to science and technology. How much of that do you think has changed now?
Actually, now I feel it is happening the other way.
Okay.
Earlier, I totally agree, especially for the tropical country diseases. I think West is looking towards us.
Okay.
And I think this is for two reasons,
Okay.
right? Of course, the modern sciences, maybe any scientist for the technology, for the resources, meaning technological resources, you will look towards West. But at the same time, we, as especially in India, we are so rich in diseases itself. Let's say if you are discovering anything against malaria, the samples are here.
Right.
We have the patient for malaria, we have the patient for leishmania. So that way, and the natural compound resources, like whatever you can say, and the knowledge, traditional knowledge, that also we are rich in terms of that. So I think now what I see, this kind of a pathogenic diseases and all, whatever, any group outside India or West, they are doing the research, they are looking towards India in terms of collaborations, samples. Like I have one collaboration with NIH, National Institute of Health, and the only thing, and as I could propose that it's just not we are providing the sample, that you come and do research and you can use our resources. No, because we also have brain. At the same time, you put the technology, we can put our knowledge, and then working together can have the solution.
Right. Let me ask you a personal question. I am reminded of a scene from a recent film starring Nana Patekar. It's a film on COVID research and how the lab got the COVID drug, and he is thanking his women members,
Yes.
and saying that without them, it would not have been possible. How easy or difficult has it been personally for you as a woman in a traditionally male-dominated space of medicine research, to make a mark?
Yeah, so you have really touched very sensitive topic, and that too very close to my heart.
Right.
But at the same time, I think we all are now aware, and in terms of difficulty, I think maybe earlier there must be something, but personally what I have seen is that it's not that bad,
Okay.
because once, if it's male dominating society, of course, but at the same time, I think we women, we have also developed all the skills in terms of let's say if we see any problem or the hurdle, we have basic our nature that through the multi-dimensional approach we can take our path.
Right.
And in that way, I don't think it is that difficult, and that's what I tell to my student, because ultimately what we do, if we are getting happiness towards that work per se, whatever is your profession, what is happening in the surrounding does not matter that much. Like for example, earlier it was the case, we have a family responsibility, that it's the same age when we have to deliver child. At the same age we are at the peak of our career. So
Right.
we have to make a balance between the two. But that time we have a special power also because that's what I feel, that was my most difficult time personally, when my baby just born, and I was at the peak of my career.
Right.
And I need to establish myself as a scientist, and in science we have to really work, put lot of work and hard work. And so I feel that time was a most memorable time for me, because what I could manage, it's remarkable. So every scientist, women scientists, I feel that time is, if they can, that is 4 to 5 years of
Right.
their career age, if they can really have that focus, though support, no support, it's your inner strength, and you know what you are doing is right for your baby, for your family, for the country, for the nation, then you should just go ahead.
Right.
So according to me, I really feel it's the system.
Right.
If at all there are some discrimination, if at all, I have not faced much, we should just take it. No issue. Science is giving us so much of pleasure.
Right.
Yeah.
Professor Singh, let me ask you, there has been a typical Western gaze towards India for a long time. It's a land of elephants and snake charmers.
Yeah.
It's also a land, and you know it much better than anyone else, that it's also a land where traditional medicine has been at par with the world's best.
Yes.
Right. Where do you see currently the scientific temperament in India? Do you think we are at par with the world, or do you think we need to be, as a country, as far as the new generation is concerned, we need to have more scientific temperament?
I think we have a scientific temperament is there, but I think to have more support.
Right.
Like we should, and I really I'm in some advisory committee, which so at the even school level,
Right.
if we can introduce the research thinking, the scientific thinking, I think that problem, because we expect the research and the development type of study very late in our career. Let's say when we are doing our masters or PhD, but why not it is coming from the school level?
Right.
So according to me, if we really want to, if at all temperament is there, or we have to enhance our temperament, that we need to work towards the school level. Right. So every time, like I also talk to many school principal, I say that at least from 10th onwards, you should have a good lab and the free lab, and talk to them, and then the scientist, and there should be interaction. Their thinking process has to be mostly encouraged, and that way I think we will have the a great scientist being produced in India, and I think hope Nobel Prize too.
Right. You spoke about balance, ma'am. Does a top scientist like you have a work-life balance? How do you manage time?
So for me specifically, my work is my life.
Okay.
And you will really appreciate that till now I have guided more than 25 PhD students.
Right.
And I think 20 of them are girls.
Right.
So I feel that that's my life and my work both, because what I see in them is me.
Right.
And so balance, I have to only make some household work that time.
Right. Right.
And now we know that we are in India and we get a lot of help.
Right.
So I have to just make balance between my students' life and their family lifetime,
Right.
So for me there is always a pleasure. When I am paid for my passion, like I always tell my husband, my salary is whatever I am getting, I am earning, that is extra because this is my passion. Right. And I get salary out of it. Why? There was no need. Even if I will not get my salary, my monthly income, it's fine because my passion is there. So yeah.
Right. Professor Singh, we are at a literature festival. Do you read books, non-scientific books? Do you read fiction, non-fiction?
So very in early phase when I was growing up, first in my undergrad, that time I was very big fan of Sharat Chandra.
Okay.
So I read all Parinit, meaning all type of novel in Hindi.
Right.
So I come from Chhattisgarh area,
right.
Hindi speaking, and basically from Rajasthan.
Right.
So all that novel I really enjoyed, and I feel very much connected towards it.
Right. Ma'am, I have no words to thank you for the stellar work you're doing. More luck to you. Wish
Thank
you all
you.
the best, and thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you very much.